The mind can be the greatest enemy. It can also be the most powerful tool. You decide. You wake up and reach for your phone. One little notification pulls your whole morning off course. You stay busy all day, yet you get very little done. Your thoughts wander. You hesitate. Decisions come slowly. Every time you get pulled off track, it takes nearly half an hour to get back. At night, you are drained. By morning, you drift again. The problem is not you. The problem is a mind without guidance. When the mind drifts, life drifts. When it is under command, everything falls into place. In this video, you will take back the wheel. You will replace impulsive reactions with deliberate responses. You will create a deep focus session of 60 to 90 minutes for your most important work. You will reset your morning in 10 minutes to set the day's direction. You will cut unhelpful thoughts and strengthen practical convictions. You will build quiet discipline so you keep moving forward when no one is watching. Not busyness, but progress. Not noise, but clarity. Not drifting, but steering. If you are ready, take a deep breath. Let us begin. Chapter 1. Command your mind, control active thinking. You cannot steer a day if you abandon the first minute. A drifting mind will lead you astray. When you command it well, life falls into place. Think back to the last morning you woke up. Your hand reached for the phone before your mind was fully awake. Messages, notifications, a random story. You had not chosen what to think, yet you were already thinking. Because habit moves faster than willpower when you do not give orders first. Thoughts are a river. Without banks, the water spills over. Without orders, the brain chases whatever is the loudest. That is why you stay busy without making progress. Not because you lack ability, but because you lack command at the most critical moment. Do you notice the traps that repeat? They usually show up very early and then follow you all day. Here are 3 common traps almost everyone faces. Not choosing what to think before you act. Starting the day with mindless scrolling. Letting old fears replay in your head. Each trap consumes something more precious than time, mental energy. Each time you let your mind pull you away, returning takes much more. You do not just lose the present minute. You lose the sharpness needed for the next decision. That invisible cost is what most people never notice. So where do you begin to take back the wheel? Do not look for a dramatic overnight flip. You need small, clear, repeatable orders. Orders placed at the start of the day and before every work session. They are like switches that flip your brain from reflex to intention. Apply these 4 short moves, simple, clear, doable right now. Write 1 goal for today in a single sentence. Say not helping me to a weak thought. Set 3 priorities and put them in order. Take 10 deep breaths before you begin. Why do these work? Because the brain needs a start signal to know what to serve. 1 goal sentence gives you coordinates. 3 priorities give you a path. A brief refusal blocks the doorway to weakening thoughts. 10 breaths bring your nervous system into a ready state. Imagine you are the commander in a control room. All signals rush in at once. If you stay silent, the loudest signals seize control. But with 1 clear order, the whole system lines up. Thoughts are the same. They are not bad. They are simply waiting to be assigned to the right job. Do not fight every stray thought. You do not need to win every small skirmish. You need to win the opening battle. The opening battle is the moment you choose what is worth thinking about. Once you choose, say it out loud. Sound forces the brain to pay attention. Put it on paper if you can. Writing seals the order you just gave. You may wonder whether a few small moves are strong enough. The answer is yes, if you repeat them at the right moments and enough times. Mental discipline is built from short, consistent signals. They teach the brain that you choose the focus, not the application, not fearful memory, not old habit. Midday, when your energy dips, the brain seeks the easy path. That is when your orders are tested the most. Prepare a 1-minute drill to regain momentum. Stop your hands, sit up straight. Look at the goal sentence you wrote. Read it slowly once. Write 1 next step in the present tense. Begin sketching the outline. Set a timer for 5 minutes and do only that 1 step. Once the first step is moving, momentum will carry you forward. You also need a filter for wandering thoughts. Just 3 questions strong enough to cut the loop. Is this true? Does this move me forward? If not, what is the smallest thing I can do right now? Place these 3 questions at the start of a session and in the middle. You will hear less noise and the main work will accelerate. The brain is very good at making up reasons. Not ready yet. Not enough data. It will be better later. Do not debate. Answer with a short command and a small action. For example, not helping me. Then open the document for the right task. Or later. Then put it on your waiting list and return to priority number 1. Use the command to close the door and the action to lock it. Environment is also a lever for a commander. Do not place yourself in a minefield and expect a calm mind. Clear the way so your orders can run. Keep your phone out of reach during a focus session. Open one browser tab that serves the number 1 task. Keep plain paper and a simple pen ready on the desk. 1 minute of preparation can save many minutes of going off track. At times, old fears will rise with strong emotions. Name the emotion. Worried, reluctant, afraid of being wrong. Naming separates you from the wave. Then return to the commander's orders. 1 goal, 3 priorities, 10 breaths. You are not pushing emotion away. You are simply not letting it hold the wheel. Now lock in a very short routine for every work session, 1 sentence goal. Priorities in order. 10 breaths to settle. Start commands spoken out loud. 5 minutes to open the path. If you drift, return to the goal sentence and repeat the routine. Each time you return faster than the last, you are winning. Here is a script you can use the moment you sit down. Sit up straight, inhale deeply, exhale completely. Repeat for 10 breaths. Write 1 goal sentence for this session. List 3 priorities in order. Look at the first line and say softly, begin. If a weak thought pushes in, whisper, not helping me. Then bring your eyes back to the first line. No negotiation. A short reminder to lock your stance, and please remember it. You give orders, you do not ask for permission. Do not wait for inspiration to give orders. Inspiration is a guest. Discipline is the host. The host opens the door when the guest knocks, and the host knows how to close the door when it is time to work. The habit of commanding your mind gives you that right. It allows you to politely refuse uninvited guests' anxiety, comparison, and regret. You will have off days. You will sometimes open your phone before you know what you are doing. It is all right. Command does not disappear because of 1 slip. Return to the sequence above. Breathe deeply. Write a new sentence. Say not helping me to the thought that just sparked. Reset your 3 priorities. Then begin. The key is not perfection. The key is returning to the right work faster than last time. From now on, keep these 2 lines side by side in your mind, not drifting, but commanding. When you live by that principle long enough, your confidence changes in substance. You say tomorrow less and now more. You search for fewer excuses and more next steps. You are pulled away less and you pull yourself back more. These are the signs that your hands are on the wheel. And when the wheel is in your hands, the road ahead becomes much brighter. Before you move to the next section, do a 1-minute test. Put your phone face down and out of reach. Write 1 goal sentence for the next 30 minutes. List 3 priorities in order. Take 10 breaths. Begin immediately with the first priority. We have built the foundation. You are the one who gives orders to the mind. The next step answers a bigger question. Once you have the wheel, where will you steer to move fastest? In Chapter 2, you will learn how to stay on the right task and train deep focus for what matters most. Chapter 2, keep what matters. Train deep focus, deep work. You do not need more hours. You need sharper focus. Progress comes from concentration, not busyness. And your brain works best when it has 1 target for this moment, not 10. Notice a day that feels busy yet empty. You open your laptop, email, chat, and notifications line up. You handle 1 urgent thing, then another urgent thing. By afternoon, your checklist is longer than it was in the morning. Time has passed, but the important work is still untouched. That is not laziness. That is the cost of context switching, and the dopamine pulls from the screen. Each time you switch tasks, you lose a few minutes to reboot attention. Across a day, you lose hours without realizing it. What you need is a simple decision. Keep what matters in sight and in hand. That begins with how you open your morning. Morning is when mental bandwidth is widest. If you give it to core work, the whole day has a direction. If you donate it to urgency, the whole day gets dragged around. Look squarely at 3 traps that push you off the rails. Confusing urgent with important. Constant multitasking. Letting notifications run the show. Urgent is loud and carries a feeling of panic. Important is quieter, but it makes real difference. When you do not distinguish, the brain picks whatever shouts the loudest. And multitasking is only rapid task switching. You think you are fast, but the quality of thinking drops every time you turn. Notifications arrive like tiny sugar crystals sprinkled all day. Tasty, yet they hollow out your deep energy. The way out is not a complicated secret. It is a clear ritual you can do now and repeat consistently. Choose one core task for the morning, then protect it with a deep work block. Deep work means one task for one stretch, with no escape hatch for the brain. You do not need 8 hours in isolation. You need 1 to 2 quality deep sessions each day. Pick up a pen and set today's frame. Here are 4 short moves you can apply immediately. Choose one core task for the morning. Turn off notifications during the session. Set a timer for 50 minutes and do one thing. Return immediately when you drift. Why 50 minutes? Because it is long enough for your brain to enter flow, yet leaves room for a short recovery. You can adjust 45 or 60 minutes depending on the work. The key is an unbroken block. An unbroken block creates depth. Depth creates quality. Quality drives progress. Before you begin, define core tasks correctly. Not the task that is easy to check off. Not the loudest task. It is the task that moves the needle closest to today's goal. Write its name as a single sentence in the present tense. Write the outline frame for the opening chapter. Present tense forces the brain to treat it as an action in motion, not a vague plan. Next, clear the way for focus. Keep your phone out of reach. Close tabs that do not serve the core task. Lay out the materials you need. Start a countdown timer. Place your eyes on the first line and begin. At times, wandering thoughts will slip in. Just check the inbox quickly. Look up a little data first. Do not argue. Use the same mechanism you trained in Chapter 1. Say softly, "Not helping me," then return to the line in progress. Put your hands on the keyboard. Write one more sentence. A small action gives you grip. With grip, you keep going. If you want a quick gauge to self-check mid-session, use these 3 questions. Is what I am doing truly the core task? If not, what is the smallest step to get back? Am I protecting this focus block well enough? Just 3 questions strong enough to keep you on track. When the timer rings, stop even if you are in flow. Stand up, stretch, drink water. Write one re-entry point for the next session. Start at section 3, illustrative example. One short line blocks the awkwardness of returning. You will re-enter much faster. Do not try to turn the whole day into deep work. You still have meetings, replies, and coordination. The effective strategy is 2 deep sessions placed at your highest energy zones, usually morning and early afternoon. Everything else revolves around them. You will be surprised how much real work gets done with just 2 well-protected blocks. You may wonder, I am so busy that I do not have 50 uninterrupted minutes. Begin with 25, even 15. Discipline is a muscle. If you can lift a clean 15 minutes without noise today, you will lift heavier next week. The crucial point is cleanliness, not length at the start. After 1 week of running this upgrade with a pre-session checklist, are the right documents open? Where is the written goal? Is the timer set? Is the phone out of reach? 30 seconds of review removes most attention leaks. Once again, remember the short prompt of this chapter. Return to what matters. Say it when your mind wants to wander. Write it at the top of your to-do. Label your deep work blocks with it. A short line, yet it is the cord that pulls you back. Here are 2 lines to close the gates of distraction. Not everything, but what matters. Live by those 2 lines and your calendar gets quieter. Your mind less fragmented. You will decide faster because you weigh one criterion. Does it serve the core task? You will stay calmer when someone knocks unexpectedly. If the task does not touch what matters, you capture it and handle it after the deep block. If it does, you schedule it into the next deep block. No scrambled reactions, only principles. To close this chapter, choose one short experiment for today. Choose a core task for tomorrow morning. Set a 50-minute deep session. Turn off all notifications during that stretch. If you drift, return at once with 1 sentence and 1 small action. When you finish, write a re-entry point for the next session. You have just completed a true deep work cycle. You now know how to keep what matters in hand and on the calendar. The next step is even straighter. Decide what you think so you do not get stuck in the loop of overthinking. In Chapter 3, you will learn a thought filtering framework so that when the mind starts to surge, you do not get swept away and you choose the thoughts that serve the path you are building. Chapter 3. Decide what you think, escape overthinking. You do not choose thoughts, thoughts will choose you. When thoughts run free, order falls apart. Chaos does not come from a lack of time. It comes from a brain stuck in passive mode. Switch to active mode and you take back your power. Every day the world lays out an endless menu messages, sensational headlines online, comparisons, old memories. If you do not set a filter, the brain will eat it all. The result is full of input and empty of direction. The emptier your direction, the more you think and the less you do. Overthinking is the byproduct of passive thinking, not a badge of intelligence. The signs are obvious when you pause for 1 minute. You intend to do A, but after 5 minutes of reading comments, you are thinking about B, then you jump to C, then you drift into D. The chain of what if stretches without end, and you stand still amid countless possibilities. Possibilities increase. Feasibility drops. Why? Because your brain was given worry, not a mission. Look straight at 3 mistakes that trap you in the loop. Letting the environment lead your thinking. A never-ending what if. No thinking filter. To escape, you do not have to defeat every thought. You only need to restore the power to choose. Choice means setting a standard for what stays and what must go. From here, we will build a simple system to decide what you think each day. Start with the permission list in the parking lot. The permission list is a short list of topics allowed to use your mental bandwidth today. The parking lot is where you place any thought that does not serve the goal, so it does not cut the line and disrupt your progress. This mechanism frees your brain from gripping everything at once. Here are 4 short actions to switch into active mode right now. Write today's allowed to think list. Ask, does this move me forward? Replace prediction with brief facts. Schedule 10 minutes of purposeful thinking. Each small action has immediate effect. When you write what is allowed, your brain understands priority. When you ask, does this move me forward? Your brain switches into choice mode. When you replace prediction with facts, the fog lifts. When you schedule purposeful thinking, worry is contained inside a frame instead of spilling across the day. More concretely, design a 3-tier thinking filter. Tier 1 truth. Is the sentence in your head accurate? What evidence exists? Tier 2 useful. Even if true, does it move you forward? Tier 3 now. If useful, what is the smallest action you will take right now? 3 questions, 3 tiers, 1 decision. You are no longer pulled by what if. You pull yourself with what next. When fear shows up, do not argue. Name it. Anxious. Afraid of being wrong. Worried about judgment. Naming separates you from the wave of feeling. Then run the thought through the 3-tier filter. If it fails, tier 1, cross it out. If it passes tier 1 but fails tier 2, move it to the parking lot. If it clears all 3 tiers, convert it into a 1-step action. You might say, I often think ahead to avoid mistakes. Thinking ahead is good, but structured thinking is what works. Without structure, thinking ahead turns into thinking forever. The structure here is time, purpose, and output. 10 minutes, one question, one decision. When the frame ends, close it. If anything remains, park it for the next thinking frame. You treat thinking as real work without letting it take over your life. A small technique to break the prediction spiral: change the tense. Instead of "what if it fails," write "what is known today." Replace. Maybe the customer hates this idea with, "What are the 3 actual pieces of feedback I have?" Facts create a foothold. From a foothold, you can push a decision. Another tactic: count backward. When you notice you are drifting into what if, count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then take the smallest step tied to your goal. Action cuts the spiral. After the spiral is cut, you regain space to think if needed. In most cases, you will not need more thinking. You will need to act and update your thinking with fresh facts. If you like a clear process, use 3R: recognize, reframe, return. Recognize I am drifting. Reframe. What is the helpful question? Return. What is the smallest next step right now? Repeat 3R a few times a day, and the noise will drop sharply. Not because you banned thinking, because you led thinking. Now assemble everything into a 1-minute script. Open your work journal and write 3 lines. Allowed to think today, ABC. Helpful question: does X move me forward? Parking lot, DEF, to handle this afternoon. Schedule 10 minutes of purposeful thinking at the end of each deep session. In those 10 minutes, do only 3 things: distill facts, lock 1 decision, set 1 next step. When 10 minutes end, close the journal. Return to the main work. Keep 1 short prompt from this chapter: intentional thinking, and seal it in memory with this pair: not drifting, but choosing. You will have days when your mind is louder than usual. Bad news appears. Pointless comparisons pop up. A cutting comment lands. Do not punish yourself for thinking negatively. Negativity is data about your state, not a verdict about who you are. Recognize, reframe, return. If a sticky thought refuses to leave, write it down and schedule a separate time to handle it. That tells your brain we are not avoiding this. We are choosing the right time. Add a few rules to keep your bandwidth clean through the day. Limit inputs. Choose 2 reliable news sources and read them at set times. Limit comparisons. Replace other people with the goal. Limit idle chatter. Use a polite line: "Let me get back to what I'm working on." Limit negative self-talk. Change: "I am not good at this," to "I am learning this part." Do not forget what you learned in the previous chapter: depth beats volume. 1 thought that is deep, clear, and useful is worth more than 10 vague ones. You do not need a warehouse of ideas. You need a few right thoughts put in the right place at the right moment. Follow these steps for 1 week, and you will notice steady changes. Fewer moments when you snap awake and realize you are lost. Small decisions get made quickly instead of dragging into tomorrow. Your inner dialogue grows calmer and more fact-based. Most important, you regain the sense that you are leading your life instead of being dragged by it. To close, run a quick experiment today. Open your notes and write the title: Allowed to Think Today. List 3 items. Below that, write "parking lot today" and leave space. Schedule 10 minutes of purposeful thinking at the end of your next deep block. During the day, whenever a what if appears, send it to the parking lot or run it through the 3-tier filter. At day's end, review the parking lot for 10 minutes, make 1 decision, and clear the rest. You have just learned how to decide what you think so you can exit the overthinking loop. The next step is to protect the ceiling of your workday, your morning. In Chapter 4, you will build a 10-minute morning reset to set focus, organize energy, and lock your direction before the world gets loud. Chapter 4, Morning Reset, your everyday success routine. Morning is the map. If you set direction early, the whole day flows. If you drift, the whole day loses its course. Last night may have been heavy, but last night does not decide today. The choice is in your hands the moment you open your eyes. Watch a typical morning. You spring up on reflex. Your fingers reach for the phone before your eyes are fully open. messages, notifications, a curiosity bait headline. Your heart rate climbs, your mind is already elsewhere. You step out of bed and enter a new day at someone else's pace. By noon, your head still carries last night's residue mixed with this morning's fragments. There is no shortage of tasks, but there is a shortage of direction. Small habits are the shortcut that ruins the day, touching the phone the moment you wake. Starting in a rush, dragging yesterday's tension into today's plan. All three share one thing: reflex is in charge, not intention. To take back the wheel, you need a short, clear ritual you can do every day. That ritual is the morning reset. Reset is not a complicated ceremony. It is a simple sequence that clears noise, sets direction, and locks your energy onto the right work. Just 10 minutes, yet enough to change the day's trajectory. You will do fewer things, but the right things. And you will do them with a mind that is settled. Begin with this promise to yourself. Start clear. That short line is the hook that pulls you out of reflex mode. From here, we build a 10-minute routine in 3 phases. Wake, aim, lock. Phase 1, wake. Energize the body and nervous system. Sit up tall. Place both feet on the floor. Inhale slowly. Exhale slowly. Repeat for a few cycles until your chest settles into an even rhythm. Use natural light if possible. Sip warm water if convenient. You're telling your body, I am waking on my terms, not to an alert tone. Phase 2. Aim, set the direction for a new day. Pick up a pen. Do not use your phone. Write one outcome you will achieve today in a single sentence in the present tense. Why one sentence? Because the brain hates vagueness and loves clarity. One specific sentence gives action a place to grab. Next, list 3 things you will not do today. You just open space for what matters by clearing the usual temptations. Finally, whisper one line about your values, not to flatter yourself. It is how you bring identity online before the calendar turns you into someone else. Phase 3, lock, protect the direction you chose. Look again at the one-sentence outcome. Tie it to a real time block, ideally in the morning. Set a reminder 20 to 30 minutes before that session to clear the way. If helpful, turn on focus mode on your devices. You just locked the schedule, and more importantly, you locked your intent. All of the above fits into 4 short moves. Read them once, then do them first thing tomorrow morning. Sit up straight and breathe slowly. Write one outcome you will achieve. List 3 things you will not do today. Whisper one line of your values. These 4 moves are so simple, you can do them anywhere on the bed, by the window, in a hotel room, even during a quiet moment at the office. What matters is putting them at the very start of the day. Morning is clean ground where seeds take easily. What you plant there is what grows through the day. You may say, my mornings are packed. True life does not wait for your schedule. But reset does not ask for luxury. Run the 10-minute version when you have space, the 3-minute version when you are rushed, and the 60-second version when everything piles up. The 3-minute version, sit tall. Take 3 deep breaths. Write one outcome sentence. List one thing you will not do. Say your value line softly. Set a reminder for your core work block. The 60-second version, stand still. Take one long deep breath. Say your one-sentence outcome out loud. Say today, not the usual distraction, and name it. Take one step toward the core task, open the right document, and set a timer. It may feel ordinary, almost plain, but the right kind of plain is what endures. This ritual does not need inspiration, it needs your presence. Each time you are present, you send your brain a signal of power, I am in charge. To get the most from reset, diffuse 3 morning traps right at the doorway, touching the phone as soon as you wake, keep the phone out of reach, starting in a rush with no direction, sit up and breathe before your feet hit the floor. Carrying yesterday's tension into today, write one line that separates today from yesterday. Go deeper into why each move works. Sitting tall and breathing slowly resets your nervous rhythm. When the body slows, the mind slows. When the mind slows, you can see what to choose. Writing one outcome turns a wish into a shaped target. Not work harder, but complete section 3 of the quarterly report. Listing 3 things you will not do frees up bandwidth. Early refusal saves you from late-day refusal. Whispering one value line reminds you who you intend to be today. Precise, calm, decisive. Values shape attitude. Attitude shapes action. If you live with family or have young children, let reset be a gentle ritual, not a noisy production. A small note where you will see it. A pen that always lives nearby. A brief whisper. Today I will do this well. Ritual does not need a stage. It needs repetition. Some mornings, last night's feelings linger. You wake with a stone in your chest. Do not deny it. Write one line, I am feeling worried, or I am feeling tired. Draw an arrow to the right. What is the smallest thing I can still do? Write it. Do that first. You are not erasing emotion. You are leading it along instead of letting it lead you. After a few days, you will notice a real shift: quieter mornings, steadier middays, fewer regrets at night. Reset will not make every day perfect. It will make many days good enough to carry you far. So your reset does not get swallowed, anchor it to a steady cue. The alarm tone light through the curtains, the smell of coffee, the sound of water in the sink. When the cue appears, you sit, breathe right. If the cue changes, choose a new one. The key is not romance. The key is repetition. You can also prepare a one-page reset sheet so you are not inventing the steps every morning. Top line, 1-sentence outcome, next line. 3 things not to do, last line. Today's value, add 3 time blocks. Deep session, 1 deep session. 2 recovery. Each morning you simply fill it in. You have turned reset into an action, not a vague idea. One more short prompt to lock this chapter into memory, not reaction, but deliberate start. Here is your 60-second check before we move on. Put your phone out of reach. Sit tall and take 1 deep breath. Write 1 outcome sentence for today. List 1 thing you will not do. Say softly the value you want to carry. Done. You have reset. As you step into a clear day, the world outside will still be loud. Unexpected calls, favors asked, feeds full of everything. You cannot mute life, but you can keep your attention on the rails. That is the next chapter: how to control digital distractions and hold focus in the noise. If morning is when you set direction, midday is when you protect that direction against urgent but unimportant calls. To close, do 1 thing right now. Write a morning reset sheet and place it where you will see it first thing tomorrow. Just 1 page, 1 pen, and 5 blank lines. When you finish, leave yourself a short note. The value I will carry tomorrow is, followed by your 1 word. You have laid the first brick for a string of days that begin clearly. Chapter 5. Stay focused in the noise-controlled digital distractions. Noise does not make an appointment. It is always there, everywhere, all the time. Strength is not blocking every sound. Strength is knowing what to ignore and when. You are working well, then a chime goes off. A group chat lights up. A comment sparks curiosity. Your brain fires a reflex. Just a quick look. 5 minutes later, your thumb is still scrolling. The line of thought you had has cooled. You return to the home screen, but you cannot return to the flow. That is the most expensive cost of distraction. It steals the depth you just built. Name a few common traps so you can spot them on sight. You listen to the noise and abandon the goal. You step into someone else's drama. You forget to return to the task after a small pull. Each one starts harmless. Left to pile up, they turn a day with potential into a day that feels busy yet empty. To rise above it, you must tell signal from noise. Signal serves the goal. Noise serves the feeling of the moment. Signal helps you go far. Noise makes you go in circles. The question that lets you choose fast is, does this push me toward the goal or pull me somewhere else? To stay focused in the chaos, build 3 layers of protection: environment, devices, and mind. Environment removes bait. Devices go quiet when you need quiet. Mind has an order to return the moment you drift. These 3 work together. If one is missing, the other two will overload. Start with the easiest layer environment. The simpler your desk, the fewer off-ramps your brain sees. One glass of water, one pen, one notebook, one screen. Keep the rest out of sight. You do not need fancy aesthetics. You need a straight line from eyes to task. Next, devices. Convenience gives noise wings. Notifications are the back door that is always open. Close the door during deep work focus mode. Muted alerts phone out of reach. If you must be online to work, use response windows. Check messages only at set times. Outside those windows, messages wait for you, not the other way around. Last, the mind. Even when your space and devices are calm, your head can make its own noise. A stray memory, an old worry, a fresh idea. Do not try to erase them. Write them on a later list, then order your attention back onto the rails. Your aim today is not absolute silence. Your aim is the speed of return after each detour. Now you have the frame. Time to install short, concrete moves that you can use every day. Say out loud what you are doing. Silence alerts and put the phone far away. Keep a list of non-urgent interruptions. Take a short, intentional break, then return. Say out loud what you are doing may feel odd, but it works. Sound pulls your attention into the present. Say one simple line. I am writing section 3. When the mouth speaks, the hands follow. When the hands follow, the mind looks around less. Silence alerts and put the phone far away as a double command. Muting cuts the number of triggers. Distance adds friction. Every time you must stand up to fetch it, the chance you will not fetch it goes up. Give your phone a small ritual. Place a drawer, a cloth pouch, a bookshelf. The ritual tells your brain it is work time, not scroll time. Keep a list of non-urgent interruptions is a soft strategy. You are not swatting away everything that pops up. You are parking items in a holding area labeled handle later. That list might say, call A, back check a price, find a link, reply to a comment. When the session ends, handle them in one batch. Batching saves more switching energy than you think. Take a short intentional break, then return. Keeps you from snapping when you are tired. Rest for 10 to 90 seconds to breathe deeply. Stretch and drink water. Say a re-entry line. Continue from paragraph 2. Then return immediately before your brain finds a new game. Breaks are not an escape. Breaks are a transfer station. During the day, some noise will come from people, not machines. An unexpected request, a story that is heating up. Prepare a polite decline. I am in a focus session. I will respond at a scheduled time. I am on core work right now. Please book a time with me. Early refusal protects relationships better than late refusal. It also keeps you where you belong. Have a return script for when you have already drifted. Stop your hands. Look at the clock. Acknowledge it. I just got pulled off. Say out loud what you are doing. Write one present tense line. Draft the closing outline. Set a timer for 5 minutes and begin. The first 5 minutes are the bridge. Cross the bridge and you are back on the main road. Keep one prompt to anchor this chapter's mindset. You choose the goal, not the noise. Frame it with a clear pair, not the loudest call, but the target. You may ask, what if my job requires me to be on call for messages? Split the responder role from the creator role. Set short response windows spaced through the day, for example, 15 minutes each hour. Outside those windows, you are the creator. Inside those windows, you are the responder. Clear boundaries make both roles work better. Another tactic to cut noise is adding friction before your favorite distraction. Want to open social media, log out. Move the app to a second screen folder. Use a long password that you only use during leisure time. You are not banning yourself. You are turning the shortcut into a longer path. Try the one-touch rule for small bits of information. Touch an email once to label it and schedule it. Touch a file once to put it in the right folder. Touch a request once to decide, do it, schedule it, delegate it, or drop it. Every extra touch is interest paid to noise. Do not skip body language when you want to focus. Sit tall, both feet on the floor, shoulders loose, hands on the keyboard or pen on the paper. Posture sends the I am working command more strongly than you think. When the body settles into position, the mind follows. When everything hits at once, use a 3-question rule to stay calm. What truly needs me now? What can wait? What is the smallest step to begin? 3 questions are enough to clear a path through the forest of inputs. If you like a number to track, measure your return speed. First time takes 10 minutes, second time 7, third time 3. You are training a muscle called returning to the right work. That muscle will save you many hours each week. Before we close, pack this chapter into a 1-minute checklist and place it beside your screen. Say out loud what you are doing. Silence alerts and put the phone far away. Open the non-urgent interruptions list. Take a short intentional break, then return. Run a quick practice loop right now. Say the task you are doing out loud. Place your phone out of reach. Open the non-urgent interruptions note and add 2 blank lines. Breathe deeply, stretch, sip water. Return to the exact line you are writing. Begin. You have learned to stay focused in the noise, not with iron willpower, but with small, repeatable systems that have real force. The next step strengthens your grip at a deeper level, steering thoughts when they slide into the past, race into the future, or circle around worry. In Chapter 6, you will learn how to steer thinking in the right direction so that when you notice a drift, you do not panic. You make a calm correction and keep moving forward. Chapter 6, Steer Your Thoughts, Build a Clear Mindset. A car does not change lanes by itself. Thoughts do not either. When no one holds the wheel, they drift along old habits. Old habits take you down familiar roads. Worry, hesitation, delay. If you want a different route, you must take the wheel. Think of the last time you were working well and then drifted. An old memory popped up. A worst-case scenario appeared in your head. You stopped your hands and chased that story for 10 more minutes. When you returned, the flow was gone. It is not because you are weak. It is because the thinking was not steered at the right moment. If you do not steer, the brain chooses ruts, digging up the past, imagining disaster, fixing late, and sliding farther. Digging up the past sticks the present in place. Disaster thinking blurs reality. Fixing late raises the cost every hour. You do not need to ban memory or imagination. You need to direct them so they serve you instead of block you. A car needs road markers. Thinking needs checkpoints. Markers tell you whether you are still in the right lane. Without markers, every exit looks reasonable. So build simple, repeatable markers that run through your day. First, install a checkpoint every hour. Let your watch vibrate softly. Pause for 10 seconds and ask 3 questions. What am I doing? Why does this matter right now? What is the next step after the line I am on? Those 3 questions do what lane dividers do on a highway. They keep you in your lane. You do not need a meeting with yourself. You need 10 clear seconds. You might say, will so many questions break my flow? The opposite, they protect your flow. One clear answer is the tether that ties your stream of thought to the task. When the reason is clear, the brain hunts fewer shiny signals. Next, prepare a break and shock kit for sneaky slides when your mind pushes you into what if. Do not argue. Change the axis by writing one small fix and doing it now. What is a small fix? A step you can finish in 5 minutes or less. For example, stop the worry spiral about a presentation by writing 3 bullet lines for the opening. You pull thinking out of the fog with the weight of action. Another quick technique, count backward from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put your hands on the work. Write half a sentence. Enter 1 number. Send 1 email. That small touch puts the tires back on the road. Once the tires grip momentum, helps you roll. When digging up the past starts, have a short dialogue with yourself. The past holds facts. The present holds a task. The future holds a direction. Where am I right now? If today is the present, choose 1 fact from the past that helps this task. Park the rest in the parking lot. You are not denying the past. You are choosing the useful part and moving on. And when the brain builds the worst-case script, ask what is known. Write 3 facts. Then ask if the worst happens, what is the minimum step to limit the damage? Write it, order it, do the first step. You just turned fear into a plan. When fear has a job, it shrinks. To keep everything coherent, give your workday a very short route map. What is the destination for this session? What steps are the route? What cues will remind me and when? One sheet of paper beside your keyboard is enough. You turn the abstract into something you can see and touch. Now set a return ritual for the moment you notice you have drifted. Stop your hands, take a deep breath, say the task name softly, write one present tense line. Finish the illustrative example. Count backward from 5 and touch the keyboard. The faster you return, the smaller the damage. Return speed is a metric worth training as much as focus duration. At this point, bundle the moves into a daily action kit. Set an hourly checkpoint. Ask 3 questions. What, why, next step. Write a small fix and do it now. Count backward from 5, then act. You can tape these 4 lines beside your screen. Whenever the checkpoint chimes, glance and follow them in order. Discipline comes from fewer choices, not bigger willpower. Keep one prompt from this chapter and carve it into memory. Steer your thinking. Lock it with a clear pair, not reacting, but steering. You ask, what if I steer too late? It is all right as long as you steer. Late correction is still better than no correction, but we can do better early correction. Correct early with checkpoints. Correct early with the why question. Correct early with half a sentence written forward. Each early correction shortens the distance of the drift. To train your hands on the wheel each day, choose a short practice window, 5 minutes at midday or late afternoon. Open your notebook and record 3 drift moments from the day. For each one, write the steering line you wish you had said. Tomorrow, use that exact line when a similar moment appears. You are programming a new reflex. Here are sample steering lines you can tailor to fit stop. This does not serve the destination. True but not needed now. What is the smallest step? Return to the line in progress. Do not hunt for a clever line. Hunt for a right and short line. The brain follows short commands better than long ones. Also remember that the body is a second steering wheel. When the mind begins to spin, adjust posture, both feet on the floor, back tall, eyes on the work point. Let the body enter the lane first and the thoughts will follow. Sometimes standing up for 1 minute cuts a 10-minute spiral. If your work forces you to handle many streams of input, separate 2 modes, navigation and response. In navigation mode, you work on core tasks, ask questions, and lock steps. In response mode, you open the door to messages, email, and calls. Give each mode its own time block. When you are in one mode, do not leak into the other. Mixing the 2 creates chaos. You can expand the 3 questions into a mini checklist for every session. What am I doing? Written as 1 line. Why the reason tied to today's goal? Next step, an action in 15 words or fewer. Just 3 lines, but they are a real-time map for your mind. When emotions surge, the wheel often shakes. Do not grip too hard. Loosen for 1 long breath. Name the feeling. Run it through this sentence. Even though I feel worried, afraid, irritated, I will, small step. You just build an overpass for the emotion to pass without causing a traffic jam. Give yourself a driving test at day's end that takes under 3 minutes. Where did I steer best today? When did I drift the longest? Which checkpoint needs to be added tomorrow? Write 3 lines and close the notebook. Your progress lives in honesty with those 3 answers, not in the length of your recap. Before you leave this chapter, pack it into 1 breath. You have the wheel, you have road markers, you have short commands, you have small actions. Use them each time your mind tries to turn into the old alley. 1-minute exercise right now. Set an hourly checkpoint for today. Write 3 lines, what, why, next step. Choose 1 stalled task and write 1 small fix. Count backward from 5 and do it. Then record your return time to track progress. From here, your grip is steadier. But the road still has potholes, weak, persistent thoughts that whisper softly, yet block strongly. They appear whenever you are tired, afraid, or comparing. In Chapter 7, you will learn how to eliminate weak thoughts the moment they appear and replace them with clear, short, forceful lines, so the car not only stays on course but accelerates smoothly. Chapter 7, Eliminate Weak Thoughts, Build Mental Strength. Weak thoughts arrive quickly. They speak softly, yet they drain your energy. The longer you let them linger, the heavier your head feels. The more you argue, the bigger they grow. If you want a lighter mind cut early, have you been here before? You are about to start an important task. A whisper says, "Not ready yet." Another voice follows, "What if it is wrong?" Your hands stop. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. When you return the fire and the work has cooled, it is not because you lack ability, it is because you just fed a thought that did not deserve to be fed. Weak thoughts have familiar tricks. They dress themselves in reason so you open the door. They borrow the voice of protection so you believe them. They promise you temporary safety and steal real progress. If you are not careful, you feed them with attention and wonder why you are exhausted. Name the 3 habits that make them strong so you can stop them at the root. Arguing with doubt, delaying action, feeding hesitation with imagination. Arguing with doubt only gives it a stage. The more you debate, the more spotlight it gets. Delaying action is the fertile soil of weak thoughts. When you do nothing, the brain manufactures more reasons, and imagination is endless. You build an entire universe of what if without a single fact. To break this loop, you do not need blind optimism. You need a short, clear, repeatable ritual. That ritual has 4 steps: label, cut, replace, move. Label to recognize, cut to break the circuit, replace to fill the gap, move to lock it in with behavior. Apply it right now with 4 short actions. Label negative thoughts as weak. Cut them immediately. Replace them with brief truth. Move your body for 30 seconds. 1 step at a time, very concrete. Label. When a thought appears, do not ask, "Is it true?" right away. Ask, "What type is it?" If it makes you smaller, slower, or more afraid, label it weak. 1 word separates you from the content. You are not the thought. You are the one observing it. Cut. Cut means giving it not 1 more second of attention. No argument, no persuasion. 1 short command is enough: "Not helping me." Or later, if it is a real task but not the right time. You are flipping the switch. Lights out. Replace. The empty space must be filled with truth. Truth is a short, stubborn fact. For example, I completed a deep session this morning. 3 former clients returned last month. The draft is at section 2 and needs 1 more example. Facts are like anchor posts. You hold them so you are not pulled under by the whirlpool. Move. Action shuts the door on the thought. Stand up. Stretch. Roll your shoulders. March in place. 30 seconds is enough for your nervous system to shift gears. Then put your hands on the work. Write 1 more sentence. Enter 1 number. Move 1 cell. Touch the real task and your brain understands the route has changed. You may ask, does cutting fast mean I am denying my feelings? No. Feelings are still data, but data does not get to lead. You acknowledge feelings by naming them. You lead by acting. The problem is rarely the first thought. It is the second, third, and fourth that follow. A weak thought is a snowball. Stop it early and it drops. Let it roll and it becomes a boulder. Cutting early is a skill. The more you practice, the faster you get. To make the skill even faster, prepare swaps for 3 common doubts. Not ready yet. Ready after 1 small step. What if it is wrong? Small wrongs fix quickly. Big wrongs get split small. I am not good enough. I am learning this part. These are not empty slogans. They are operating commands. You say them so the brain takes the job, not the feeling taking the wheel. When imagination starts building the worst-case script, switch to a 2-column note. Left facts already known. Write small steps I can take. Write 3 lines in each column. The left column stops invention. The right column stops delay. The 2 columns take you from a movie screen back to the control room. Some days weak thoughts will return again and again. It is all right. Treat each notice as one rep. Do not blame yourself for having a weak thought. Score yourself by the speed of the cut and the neatness of the replacement. 5 cuts today, 4 tomorrow. By next week, you will label and move on. Do not forget the body is a tool of the mind. A clenched jaw, tight shoulders, and held breath send a signal of resistance to the brain. Drop the shoulders, open the chest, breathe slowly. 30 seconds of movement is a cheap, powerful dose. Then touch the real task at once so the action locks the thought. You have the principles and the moves. Now tie them into a 1-minute script you can use whenever a weak thought appears. Notice and label weak. Cut not helping me. Replace read one short fact you have written. Move stand up and take one small step. If you want a short reminder, use this cut early. Replace quickly. Seal it with a clear pair, not feeding doubt, but feeding strength. You might say sometimes doubt is right. True when it rests on facts and leads to improving action. When doubt only leads to delay and shrinking, that is a weak thought. Use this question to tell the difference. Does this doubt take me to the next step? If not, run the 4 steps now. Defuse the common triggers that breed weak thoughts. Chronic lack of sleep, skip meals, a desk full of attention, bait a pile of small unmade decisions in a schedule with no recovery blocks. Do not try to be strong in an environment that invites weakness. Clearing the environment is the kindest support you can give yourself. When you must deal with people who often plant doubt, prepare boundary lines. I hear your point. I will verify it with data. Thank you. I am staying with the current target and will update after this milestone. You do not need to win them. You need to keep your direction. Do not ignore the inner voice either. Your self-talk is the soundtrack of your day. Change the playlist from I am terrible at this to I am not yet fluent in this part. From careful it might fail to choose a small safe step to test. You are not sugarcoating. You are adjusting language so action has a road to travel. Now pack this chapter into a pocket checklist to stick beside your screen. Label weak the moment you notice. Cut with one short command. Replace with one line of truth. Move for 30 seconds, then touch the task. Practice one 60-second loop right now. Recall your most recent weak thought. Label it boldly, weak. Say not helping me. Write one single line of truth about today's progress. Stand up, reach your arms, roll your shoulders. Sit down and take half a step on the task in progress. Done. You just cut early and replace quickly. As this skill takes root, you will notice a quiet shift, a steadier heartbeat before hard decisions, a lighter head at day's end, and a growing sense of inner strength with every small action. Mental strength is not a loud explosion. It is a quiet click repeated through the day, cut and replace. To close, do one thing right now. Prepare 3 short truths about yourself and this week's work. Write them on paper and place them in front of you. Each time a weak thought appears, read one line and take one step. After you try it, leave yourself a brief note. The truth I used today is, followed by your one line. You now know how to strip doubt of its power and return energy to action. The next step is to build your inner walls, the beliefs you choose and protect every day. In Chapter 8, you will learn how to choose your beliefs and defend them, so when headwinds blow, you stop looking for permission from the outside and stand firm on what you believe, proven by the steps you take. Chapter 8. Choose and defend your beliefs. Build positive beliefs. Beliefs lead actions. Repeated actions become your life. But there is a subtle trap: borrowed beliefs. Borrowed beliefs sound good and win applause, but they will betray you when headwinds blow. You do not need many beliefs. You need the right beliefs chosen by you and protected by you. Look at a typical day. You open a feed and see a dazzling achievement. You scroll again and hear someone criticize a person who feels a lot like you. In a few minutes, your belief frame has changed color. You start seeking confirmation, asking opinions, reading comments, waiting for a nod. When it does not come, you slow down. When it does, you sprint too far. That is not leading. That is being steered by other people's beliefs. Common mistakes are always present, quiet but erosive. You pick up limiting beliefs from others and treat them as truth. You seek constant validation because you fear owning your choices. You stare at failures and forget progress, and your confidence map gets distorted. You end up acting like a borrower, not an owner. To change this, you do not need to play the part of blind optimist. You need a belief system that is few, clear, and verifiable. Good beliefs are not slogans. They are commitments with evidence, with boundaries, and with rituals of protection. Begin with a decisive choice. From now on, beliefs are chosen, not collected. You will choose them, and you will prove them each day with one small action. You will also control your inputs so your beliefs do not get contaminated. And you will stay close to people who respect your goals rather than tear down your standards with careless doubt. Turn that into reality with 4 short moves. Tidy, actionable right now. Write 3 core beliefs. Record evidence each day. Choose clean, selective inputs. Keep company with people who respect your goals. One by one, engrave them into habit. First, write 3 core beliefs. 3, not 10. Fewer to remember, easier to live. Each belief should combine identity, ability, and practice. For example, I am proactive. I learn quickly. I take one small step every day. Avoid vague lines like I will achieve huge success. Put them in the present, tie them to behaviors so your brain knows what to do. Second, record evidence each day. Each evening, write 3 lines that prove the 3 beliefs. No need for giant wins. 1 complete deep session. 1 well-timed no. 1 calm response instead of a blow-up. Evidence is the backbone of belief. Without evidence, belief is a wish. With evidence, belief is an asset. Third, choose clean, selective inputs. Inputs are the content you watch, the sounds you hear, the voices you allow into your head. Limit the infinite scroll mode. Choose a few high-quality sources for learning and updates. Set fixed times to consume, and outside those times, block the noise. You do not need to know everything. You need to know the right things for your path. Fourth, keep company with people who respect your goals. You do not need a crowd. You need a small circle who tell the truth, challenge you in the right way, and respect your direction. Set a rule: feedback must be based on data, not an attack on identity. This choice is not selfish. It is the nutrient environment where beliefs stay healthy. To run smoothly, use the 3C framework for beliefs. Choose, prove, protect. Choose 3 core beliefs in the present tense tied to behavior. Prove 3 bits of evidence each day, short, concrete, checkable. Protect boundaries on inputs and relationships to shield against contamination. 3 words, 1 closed loop. You have turned believe into live. You may ask, if I fail several times in a row, will my beliefs collapse? No, if your beliefs rest on progress rather than perfection. Switch lenses from win or lose to learn and iterate. 1 failure gives you 1 learning proof. Record it, what you tried. What happened, the specific lesson. Tomorrow, change 1 detail and try again. Durable beliefs are beliefs that can survive experiments. Do not let beliefs become a wall against the truth. Good beliefs walk with truth. They do not sit on top of it. When the numbers say otherwise, update your action hypothesis, not your identity. I am proactive remains true even when tactic A did not work. Change the tactic. Keep the identity. This makes a belief both flexible and strong. Here are signs that your beliefs are getting contaminated. You feel you must ask permission to act. You fear writing commitments because others might see them. You hear, I am not the kind of person who, on repeat. When you spot these signs, return to 3C. Choose a short line again. Add evidence, lock the inputs. If you want a 1-minute ritual to rinse your beliefs each morning, do this. Read 1 core belief. Speak 1 piece of yesterday's evidence. Choose 1 action today to prove it again. Done. Beliefs are not for decoration in your head. Beliefs go out through your hands. Some will say positive beliefs make people careless. Only when they drift away from facts. Positive beliefs are a compass, not a shield. A compass points the way. The road still needs a map, rest stops, and eyes on risk. You believe and you verify. You move and you adjust. When you work in a team, make the team's core beliefs explicit. Do we prioritize quality over speed? Do we learn in public or only showcase finished wins? Do we fix early or wait and fix late? Write it down. Bring it to the first meeting of the week. Each person picks one small action to prove it. Strong teams are not built by slogans on the wall. They are built by beliefs in practice. Midday, when a negative line pops up, do not run away. Use 2 cuts of the question. First, what truth is in this line? Second, what small step does that truth suggest? If there is no truth, discard it. If there is truth, turn it into action, not a wound. Prepare a beliefs and evidence sheet beside your desk. Left column, beliefs, 3 lines. Right column, today's evidence, 3 empty boxes. By day's end, fill them in. Not enough. Do not judge yourself. Ask what action tomorrow fills this empty box. Gentle discipline helps beliefs stay. You will also meet people who like to sow doubt. They may care but use the wrong method. Use calm boundary lines, I hear you. I will check it with data. Thank you for the input. My priority is X and I will update after milestone Y. You do not need to win the argument. You need to protect the bandwidth for beliefs that are fueling action. Now pack it into a mantra to repeat through the day. Keep beliefs clean. Close the chapter with a clear pair, not borrowed beliefs, but chosen beliefs. Before we move on, run a 90-second round, open your notes. Write 3 core beliefs in the present tense. Under each, write 1 piece of today's evidence. Draw a small line labeled Clean Inputs. List 2 sources you will follow in the specific times. Write the name of 1 person you will message to help each other stay on goal. Close the notebook. You have just completed 1 loop of choose, prove, protect. Practice this long enough, and you will see a quiet, unmistakable shift. You need less applause from the outside to begin. You are less shaken by a single stray failure. You trust yourself not because you are special, but because you are trustworthy to yourself through the evidence you create each day. This kind of belief is not loud. It is steady pressure under every step. To end this chapter, do one thing right now. Write your number 1 belief on paper and place it where you will see it tomorrow morning. Tomorrow, add 1 piece of evidence under that line. When you finish, leave yourself a short note. My number 1 belief is, followed by your 1 sentence. We will keep moving forward with quiet discipline in Chapter 9, where you will learn how to hold the standard even when no one is watching, so your beliefs are not only clean, but alive every day. Chapter 9, Discipline. When no one is watching, train self-discipline. When no one is watching, what do? That answer builds your results. Quiet hours build endurance. Motivation rises and falls. Discipline stays. Late at night, early morning. The empty space between 2 meetings. Not truly empty, only without an audience. In those hours, your real habits show up. Either you keep the standard, or you cut corners. Do you find yourself in these traps? Only working when you feel inspired. Cutting corners because no one will see. Slipping once, then quitting altogether. Those mistakes are not loud. They quietly pull the curve down. 1 corner cut does not kill anything, but it opens the door for the second and the third. By the time you notice your standard has slid, you do not need to become a person of steel. You need a clear set of standards and a few short rituals to hold them. Discipline is not inspiration. Discipline is a non-negotiable standard repeated at the right time. Start with a simple promise to yourself. Each day, do at least 1 right step. No show, no noise, no applause needed, only consistency. First, set a floor standard. A floor standard is the minimum that still matters done even when you're tired. For example, 10 minutes of writing, 10 slow breaths, 1 short, deep session of 45 minutes, 10 minutes, reviewing facts, 5 lines of recap. You do not demand perfection, you demand that you show up. Next, add an outcome standard. An outcome standard tells you whether you move closer to the goal today. For example, progress on Chapter 3, push feature A to staging, send the draft to the client. Outcome standards help you measure what is right, not get trapped by busyness. Finally, set an attitude standard. This is how you intend to show up when no one is watching: calm, precise, decisive. One word to remind you how to work, not only what to work on. Durable discipline needs a way to count. Count what can be measured: your streak of completed days. Each day you meet the floor standard mark: 1 box. 2 boxes in a row form a streak. Your job is to keep the streak and not break it for trivial reasons. Break once, repair it the same day or the next day. Break twice in a row and the streak is hard to revive. You may ask, if I am too busy, how do I keep the streak? That is why the floor standard must be small but real. 10 minutes is real. 1 hour may not be real on a chaotic day. The friendlier the floor standard, the longer the streak. Now the hardest part: self-coaching. You are your own coach in the hours with no audience. Use direct questions. Short, clear, no circling. Why have I not started? What is the smallest step? If I cut this corner, what is the cost? If I do the right thing for 5 minutes, how will I feel? Direct questions pull you out of the fog of excuses. Time to pack it into concrete moves, so discipline is not just an idea. Set non-negotiable standards. Track your streak of completed days. Self-coach with direct questions. If you slip, repair fast and return immediately. Set non-negotiable standards sounds grand. It is actually 1 sheet of paper. Write 3 lines: floor standard, outcome standard, attitude standard. Place it where you will see it before the day begins. Each morning, read it once. Each evening, mark complete or incomplete. Do not write an essay. Only mark the box. Track your streak of completed days needs a wall calendar or an application to track the streak. Only mark a day after you have completed the floor standard. Do not give yourself a free pass for an almost day. Honesty here is the muscle that holds discipline. Be honest with yourself first, and results will be honest with you after. Self-coach with direct questions is your midday job. You are tired, you hesitate, you are about to scroll. Ask out loud, what is the smallest step? Count backward from 5. Do that step. 2 minutes later, you are back on the main road. If you slip, repair fast and return immediately is the insurance for the streak. Slipping is not the problem. Letting the slip define you is the problem. When you slip, use the never 2 in a row rule. If the streak breaks today, tomorrow, you do the floor standard regardless of mood. Do not wait for inspiration to apologize to you. You apologize with action. Deep discipline is not swinging a sword. It is repeating one right move so many times that it becomes plain. Plain is a good sign. The brain no longer burns energy deciding. It knows that when the time arrives, you work, not argue. For quiet hours to build real endurance, use a before, during, after frame for each session. Before, read the standards page, choose the core task, set the timer. During, keep one window, say out loud what you are doing, jot down interruptions quickly. After, mark the streak, write a re-entry point. Self-coach with 3 lines. 3 steps each, 1 minute. Small yet enough to give the session a backbone. You also need a periodic check to avoid a slow slide. Once a week, ask 3 questions. Where did I keep the standard best? Where did I cut corners? Next week, does the floor standard need to be smaller to be sustainable? Lowering the floor standard is not weakness. Lowering the floor standard is a strategy to protect the streak when storms arrive. When no one is watching, low-dose temptations appear most often. 5 more minutes online, 5 fewer minutes of recap, skipping the warm-up. You do not need to fight every temptation. You need to add friction log out of accounts, put the phone away, move distracting applications off the home screen, place your chair farther from the power outlet. If you want to keep discipline, make the right action easier and the wrong action harder. Discipline does not kill freedom. It buys freedom. Freedom to rest when needed because you did what needed doing. Freedom to refuse the meaningless because you have committed to what matters. Some will say, forget discipline, give me creativity. Creativity does not bloom in chaos. It blooms inside a frame. The minimum frame is the minimum discipline. When you show up in the right place at the right time, ideas have a place to land. Set a return ritual for the days you slip. Write this line in your notebook. Where did I slip today? Write the next line. What is the small step to repair? Count backward from 5. Do that step. Mark the streak on the next day. Do not borrow credit from today. You are building self-respect in action. You can also use personal cues to enter discipline mode: an opening song, a light jacket, a specific chair, a soft scent. When the cue appears, your body drops into rhythm on its own. You reduce decisions and increase repetition. In a team, personal discipline spreads. Agree on a team floor standard, arrive to meetings on time, materials prepared before the meeting, 3 lines of daily updates. Keep standards before you demand results. Do the right thing even when no one is watching. That is credibility. Now close the chapter with a short mantra to carry all day. Quiet but steady. Seal it in memory with a clear pair, not by mood, but by discipline. You may say, I have very little time. Discipline does not cost more time. It saves time from leaking away. You do not need 10 excellent things. You need one right thing done consistently. Before we step into the final chapter, take a 1-minute practice. Write 3 lines of non-negotiable standards for tomorrow. Choose a tool to track your streak and set a reminder. Prepare 3 direct self-coaching questions for midday use. If you slip, commit to the never 2 in a row rule. Done. You have established a foundation of quiet discipline. Now that discipline stands firm in the hours with no audience. It is time to raise your thinking to a higher level. Think like the version you want to become. In Chapter 10, you will learn how to wear the mindset of your future self starting today, so your actions line up with the person you are building without waiting for results to give you permission to think differently. To end this chapter, do one thing. Immediately put pen to paper and write tomorrow's floor standard, followed by your 1 line. Set a reminder for the hour when you are usually weakest. When finished, leave yourself a brief note. My streak is now at, followed by your number. Keep the streak, keep the standard. Then you will see what is quiet become steady, and what is steady become relentless enough to carry you far. Chapter 10, Think Like Your Future Self. The mindset that leads to success. You can do the right tasks and still move slowly. Identity pulls you back into the old mold. Results follow identity. If you want to rise, think like the person you want to become starting now. Try a familiar moment. You have a clear goal. You know the next step. Yet your hands hesitate. A line echoes in your head. Wait until you are ready. Who is ready? It is the future version of you that you keep delaying meeting. Old habits carry momentum. They pour 3 sweet traps into you, waiting to be ready before you act. Thinking with old patterns in a new context. Shrinking goals because you fear running out of breath. You keep walking, but at the pace of your past self. Changing identity does not mean changing your whole person. Changing identity means choosing a new standard and living by it before the medal arrives. Medals come after. Standards go first. From here, we will build a simple bridge. On this side is who you are today. On the far side is who you want to be in 12 months. We will not wait for permission. We will grant permission with standards and small actions. Begin by describing that person. Not vague, not cliche. Write a few short lines about how they think, how they act, how they show up. Calm under pressure, decisive in locking one small step. Hold 2 deep sessions each day. You are creating a configuration file for your brain. Now set 1 new standard for today, not next week. A standard is a behavior you can count. For example, handle email in 2 windows of 15 minutes, no meeting without an agenda, a morning deep session of 60 minutes with notifications off. A standard is the yardstick of your new identity in real life. Before each decision, ask one question: does it meet the standard? That question is the gate. If it meets the standard, proceed. If it does not adjust until it does, then proceed. You do not consult your feelings. You compare to the standard. And do not wait to feel like the right person before you act. Act like that person now. Action pulls thinking along. Thinking pulls results along. That is the road. Summarize it into 4 short daily moves like a quick identity check-in. Describe your future self in a few lines. Choose one new standard for today. Ask, does it meet the standard before decisions? Act like that person now. This may feel familiar. Many skills you learned earlier plug into this chapter: the morning reset to set direction, deep work to keep what matters, 3R to escape overthinking, cut early, replace quickly when weak thoughts appear, keep the disciplined streak when no one is watching. This chapter connects them into an identity of action. Make it concrete with a one-page identity map line. 1. Who am I becoming? Line 2. What are that person's behavior standards today? Line 3. 2 likely slip situations and the response lines. Line 4. 1 metric I will track. Write it and keep it by your desk. Each time you drift, look at it and ask, does it meet the standard? You may object, what if I think too big and stumble? A stumble is data, not a verdict. Your future self does not dodge stumbles. They tighten the test loop, split risk into small pieces and learn quickly. Shrink the step size, not the standard. Standards are how you work. Steps are how much you do. If you want the new identity to stick, give it visible cues. A short command line, a starting gesture, a reminder object. For example, place a hand on your chest and say, calm, precise, decisive. Wear a bracelet only during deep sessions. Start a new standard playlist to drop into rhythm. The brain loves ritual. Ritual helps it switch modes fast. In a team, you can also sync the future identity, an opening slide that says who we are. A does it meet the standard checklist before you ship a proof of the day ritual at the end of the shift. When the whole team raises standards, change accelerates exponentially. When fear rises, the old identity will reach for the wheel tomorrow. Hold on, wait until ready. Answer with the pair you now know well, not waiting for results, but thinking ahead. Fear can sit in the passenger seat. Your hands stay on the wheel. You choose direction with does it meet the standard, then count backward from 5 and touch the real work. If you want a 90-second drill to lock in this chapter, do it now. Write 3 lines describing who you want to be in 12 months. Choose one standard you can live today. Place the question, does it meet the standard where you will see it? Schedule one small action in the next hour to prove the standard. Done. You just put on the new identity. Do not chase perfection. Chase consistency under pressure. The new identity is not measured by promises. It is measured by standard responses to old situations. When criticized, you adjust with facts. When low on inspiration, you do the floor standard. When pulled away, you return to what matters. When doubt shows up, you cut early and replace quickly. These are the signs you are on the road. Carry one line through the day, live by the new standard, and seal it with a clear lock pair, not waiting for results, but thinking ahead. Before we close the journey, look back. You learned to command your mind. Keep what matters, decide what you think. Reset the morning, protect focus in the noise. Steer thoughts in the right direction. Eliminate weak thoughts. Choose and defend your beliefs. Hold discipline when no one is watching, and now to wear your future identity. Each skill is a piece. Together, they form an operating system for your mind. Ending here is not stopping. This is when you run the system every day. The more the system runs, the more results follow. One action under 1 minute, write tomorrow's standard on paper. Place it beside your morning reset sheet set. Does it meet the standard reminders for 3-time windows? Then leave yourself a short note. My new standard today is, followed by your one sentence. Save the script, share it with a partner you want to travel with, and start living the new standard from this moment. You are the one who leads your mind, not a victim of distraction, not someone who waits for inspiration. You choose direction, you set the pace, you take responsibility. You already have the tools to run each day. Command your thinking, keep what matters, decide what you think. Reset the morning, stay focused in the noise. Steer your thoughts in the right direction. Cut weak thoughts early. Choose beliefs and defend them. Hold discipline when no one is watching. Think and act like your future self. From here, do not wait for miracles. Results follow the standards you live by. Each time you return to the right work, one brick is laid. Each time you lock one small step, your identity grows stronger. Small but consistent. Quiet but steady. Now lock it in with immediate action. One thing to do right now under 1 minute. Write one-sentence goal for today. Schedule a 10 minutes morning reset for tomorrow. Set reminders that say, does it meet the standard at 3-time windows? After these 3 steps, begin the first small step of the goal right away. No more discussion, no negotiation. Action pulls thinking along. Thinking pulls results along. When today gets loud, remind yourself you are the one who leads your mind. If you drift, return to the 1-sentence goal. If you are tired, take a short, intentional break, then continue. If you doubt, cut early, replace with truth, and touch the real work. Not waiting for results, but thinking ahead, then acting now. Leave a comment with your 1-sentence goal for today. Save this script to use every morning. Share it with a friend who needs to take back the wheel. You already have the roadmap. The rest is you. Begin now.